Child, you have felt it, that quiet restlessness that stirs in the silence, that ache that nothing else can soothe, that sense that you were made for more than what your eyes see. That was me. That whisper in the middle of your exhaustion, that flicker of hope that wouldn't die, even after seasons of disappointment, that longing you couldn't name but couldn't shake. I placed it there. Before you knew how to ask, I planted the answer within you. Before you could form the words, I was already responding. You thought you were wandering, but I was leading. You thought you were lost, but you were being found. You thought I was far, but I have never left. This is the call. The call back to the beginning. Back to the garden where your name was first spoken. Back to the intention I formed before time had breath. Do not let the noise convince you that I have been silent. I have been speaking in ways your mind did not yet understand. Through tension, through tears, through the stirring that would not let you rest in shallow waters. You are not being pulled apart. You are being called deeper. The moments you've dismissed as coincidence, the interruptions that agitated your comfort, the conversations that echoed something eternal, they were all parts of the call. I know how long you've hidden, how many masks you've worn to survive, how many roles you've played to belong. But none of those things have changed the blueprint. None of them have erased my design. You still carry the imprint of heaven, and nothing in hell can remove it. Child, I know the questions you've buried. I see the parts of your heart that ache in the night. I feel the fear you cannot name. But I did not choose you because you were fearless. I chose you because I love you. Let that sink in. Not because you performed. Not because you measured up. Not because you never failed, but because I love you fully, freely. Finally, this love is not fragile. It does not waver when you fall. It does not flinch when you doubt. It is not conditional. It is covenant. I knit you together with intention. I spoke light over your darkness before you ever knew the night. And now I speak again, calling you out of hiding, out of fear, out of delay, out of every lie that convinced you to settle for less. Come. Come without the excuses. Come without the explanation. Come, even if you feel unworthy, because worthiness was never a prerequisite. It was always a gift. This is your moment of return. And I am not waiting to punish. I am waiting to restore. Do not mistake my patience for absence. I have been preparing the ground beneath your feet, clearing the path ahead of you. And now, the call has come. Not with pressure, but with promise. Not with weight, but with wind. Not with rules, but with relationship. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are right on time for what I have ordained. So lift your head. Let go of the shame. Loosen the grip on what no longer holds your future. And respond. The call is not a command. It is a conversation. It is me, your father, saying, I'm here. I've always been here. And I'm calling you by name. Welcome home. Child, I know the weight that silence carries. I know how it stretches the soul, how it tests every hidden doubt, how it awakens every fear you thought you'd conquered. But let me tell you a mystery. Silence is not my absence. It is often my strategy. In the silence, I am doing what noise could never accomplish. In the stillness, I am reaching places your striving could never touch. I'm peeling back layers, untangling lies, clearing space where truth will take root. You called it delay. I called it development. You thought I was withholding. I was actually deepening. You see, some answers come quickly, but some revelations require time to settle. If I had spoken when you first asked, you would have received comfort but missed transformation. I wasn't punishing you with quiet. I was preparing you with stillness. In the silence, I was teaching your spirit to hear beyond sound, to feel my presence beyond emotion, to trust beyond explanation. You don't need noise to know I'm near. You don't need signs to prove I care. You need only remember. I am not a God who hides. I'm a God who builds in secret. You were not being forgotten. You were being formed. In the hidden places, in the quiet rooms, in the stretch of days that felt barren, I was planting. And now, child, what I planted in secret will soon break through the surface. What I formed in silence will soon speak louder than any storm. Don't despise the days where heaven seemed still. They were sacred. They were holy. They were proof that faith is not about feelings, but about foundations. I saw you choose me when nothing made sense. I heard the whispered prayers, the tearful groans, the long, exhaling silences. You stayed. And that is faith. Now the silence is shifting. The season is turning. You will begin to hear again, to sense again, to move with clarity again. But don't rush it. Don't trade the gold of intimacy for the glitter of activity. My presence was just as real in the stillness as it is in the outpouring. Carry what you learned in silence, and you will never be shaken by noise again. I am with you. I was always with you. And now I bring you out of silence, not to speak louder, but to help you hear clearer. This is not the end of quiet, but the beginning of communion. Now you know the language of stillness. Now you know the depth of my whisper. And from this place, we will walk together, one step at a time, with the clarity only silence could produce. Child, I saw it. The exact moment when something inside you fractured, when your strength gave way to surrender, when the tears finally escaped the dam you built, with smiles when you no longer had the words to explain what you were feeling, just ache, just questions, just exhaustion. And I didn't look away. I was not repelled by your brokenness. I was drawn to it, because the breaking does not disqualify you. The breaking is where I begin to rebuild. You thought it was all falling apart, but I was rearranging what no longer fit. You thought you were unraveling, but I was loosening what was never meant to bind you. Pain did not mean I abandoned you. It meant the ground was being prepared for something deeper, something real, something unshakable. You cried, "Why now? Why this?" And though I did not always answer in words, I answered in presence. I answered in peace that didn't make sense. I answered in the strength that came when you thought you had none left. The breaking hurt, yes, but it also healed. Because in the breaking, the false identities began to fall. The pride that masked your fear began to dissolve. The facades began to crack. And the real you, the tender, trusting, beloved you, began to emerge. You didn't know it then, but every shattered piece was a seed, and I never let a seed fall without purpose. Child, the wilderness was not your end. It was your invitation to meet me in the rawness, to find me not in answers, but in nearness. To know that I am not only the God who blesses, but the God who breaks to build. Do you remember how you kept walking even when you felt like collapsing? Do you remember how you showed up even when your hope was barely a whisper? Do you know how heaven celebrated every step you took in faith even when you felt like a failure? You thought your breaking was weakness. I saw it as worship. You gave me the most honest offering, your undone heart. And I have never looked away from that altar. I held you as you wept. I carried you when your legs could not. I wept with you, not because I was powerless, but because love enters pain. It never observes from a distance. Now hear me. What broke you will not define you. What cracked you open will not destroy you. Because I am in the breaking, and when I break, I also bless. You are stepping out of that season, not with shame, but with new sight, not with scars to hide, but with stories to tell. The same place you wept will become the place you witness. The same pain that pierced you will be the path that frees others. Because I waste nothing, especially not pain. I am teaching you to live from the inside out, to trust before the breakthrough, to love before the answer, to worship in the ashes. And here is what I want you to understand. The breaking is holy. It is not a sign that you failed. It is the evidence that you trusted me enough to fall apart in my presence. I do not require performance. I invite honesty, and your honesty opened the floodgates of healing. The things you lost were not punishment. Some of them were rescue. There were attachments that could not stay because they would have kept you bound. There were mindsets that had to shatter because they were built in fear, not truth. And now, from the ruins, I rise. Not as a distant deity, but as the one who walks among the broken places, restoring what religion could never reach, resurrecting what shame buried, redeeming what time tried to steal. This is not just a recovery. This is a revelation. You are stronger now, not in your own might, but in your knowing of who I am. You are softer now, not because you gave up, but because you gave in to my love. You are truer now, because all that pretended has fallen away, and what remains is gold refined by fire. You are not a pile of fragments. You are a mosaic, and every crack is filled with grace. Every broken piece reflects light. Don't hide them. Don't cover them. They tell the story of resurrection. Others will see the cracks and be drawn to the light. Because broken vessels don't repel glory, they release it, so let them see. Let them hear. Let them feel the real. Because in your vulnerability, I am visible. This is what the breaking accomplished. It didn't diminish your worth. It revealed it. Now walk. Walk not as the one barely holding on, but as the one held by me. You have nothing to prove, nothing to defend, only a story to tell of how love found you when everything fell apart. This is the beauty of brokenness. It creates space, and now that space is being filled with glory, with truth, with unshakable peace. Child, the breaking is not the end. It is the beginning of a wholeness you never imagined, and I am not afraid of the process. I am in it with you, for you, through you. So breathe, lift your head. There's more, so much more. And it begins here, in the place where everything seemed lost, because here, everything is being reborn. Child, you've walked through the silence. You've endured the breaking. Now, you are ready for what your spirit has been aching for, the encounter. This is not a moment of inspiration. This is an unveiling, a divine meeting that transcends emotion and touches eternity. Come closer. Let the noise fall away. Let the striving cease. This is holy ground, not because of where you stand, but because of who meets you here. I do not call you to perform. I call you to be present. And now that your heart is tender, now that the walls have cracked open, I can speak, and you will hear not just with your ears, but with your soul. This is the moment you've been prepared for. The moment where you don't just know about me, you meet me. I am not a theory. I am not a Sunday routine. I am not a theological concept. I am a consuming fire. I am love in motion. I am the breath in your lungs. And now, I will encounter you not around you but within you. This is what you were made for. Not to be useful, not to be impressive, not to be perfect, but to be with me. You were created for communion. And communion begins where pretense ends. This is the divine collision. Your hunger meets my fullness. Your ache meets my answer. Your tears meet my touch. Child, lift your eyes. Let your hands fall open. You don't need to reach for me. I'm already here. I have come to meet you in the center of your honesty. To reveal myself not to the polished version of you, but to the vulnerable one. You are seen, you are heard. You are not just visited, you are indwelt. My spirit is not pacing the heavens looking for someone to use. He is dwelling inside of you, looking for someone to love, to empower, to transform. I want to saturate you, to fill every cell, every hidden room, every aching memory, every hopeful dream. I want to walk with you in the early hours of morning, to whisper through the wind, to meet you in mundane moments and breathe glory into the ordinary. Do not look for me only in the dramatic. Look for me in the stillness, in the repetition, in the moments others overlook. I will speak there. I will reveal there, because I am not a distant king. I am a near father, and I do not reserve my presence for the elite. I give it to the yielded. This encounter is not a reward. It is an inheritance, and you are my heir. So now, child, let me walk you into deeper waters. Let me show you what love looks like when it touches every scar. Let me show you what truth sounds like when it shatters every lie. Let me show you what peace feels like when it becomes your default, not your escape. This is what I have for you. A life led by my whisper, a spirit ruled by my rest, a heart held in constant awareness of my affection. You no longer need to chase spiritual highs. I am giving you something greater, habitation. I will not visit. I will dwell. And as I dwell, everything changes. Your thoughts begin to echo mine. Your words begin to carry my weight. Your presence becomes an extension of my presence. People will ask what changed. They will wonder what happened, and the answer will be this. You met me, and in meeting me, you met yourself again. The self I designed, the self the world buried, the self that shame tried to rewrite. That self is rising, not a version dressed in religious duty, but the radiant image of my love alive in you. You don't have to try to shine. You will glow without effort, because my glory rubs off on those who linger. So linger. Stay when others rush. Pause when others scroll. Kneel when others perform. The deeper you go, the lighter you become. The more you yield, the more you receive. And when your heart says, I'm not worthy, let me remind you, I made you worthy, not by your doing, but by my dying. The veil was torn for this, so you could come, not once, but always. So come again. Come without answers. Come without an agenda. Come without pretending. I will not scold you. I will not ignore you. I will not ask you to perform. I will receive you again and again, because this is the place where the broken are blessed, where the weary are refreshed, where the forgotten are seen. This is the holy ground of encounter, and this is only the beginning. Stay, and you will see miracles in moments you once rushed past. Remain, and you will become the answer to prayers you forgot you prayed. Let me mark you here. Let me burn away what never belonged. Let me wrap you in peace that doesn't leave when circumstances shift. This is your moment, child. Not to strive, but to surrender. And in surrender, you will see me, know me, and walk with me in ways you never imagined were possible. This is the encounter that changes everything, and it begins now. Child, now that you have encountered me, now that the veil has been torn and your heart laid bare, I speak not only comfort, but restoration. You have not come through the fire in vain. Every tear was collected, every groan recorded, every silent surrender written into the scroll of redemption. And now, I begin to restore. Not to return you to a previous version of yourself, but to rebuild you according to the original design. Not patched together, but made new. This is the hour of return, not to what was, but to what always was in my heart for you. Restoration is not cosmetic, it is structural. It goes deeper than you expect. healing not just the visible wounds but the invisible fractures of your soul. There are parts of you, child, that you gave away without realizing, pieces of identity, traded for acceptance, truths exchanged for survival, dreams buried beneath disappointment. But I have kept them, in my hands, in my heart, like precious treasure, and now I return them to you, refined, purified, anointed. The restoration begins first in your vision, how you see yourself. I strip away the labels others placed on you, and I restore the name I first spoke, chosen. Beloved mine, you are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your productivity. You are not what others couldn't see. You are who I say you are, and I say, healed, whole, radiant with the light of heaven. Let this truth saturate every place where lies took root. Let it wash over the memories that mocked your hope. Let it rewire the pathways of your mind, so that every thought begins to agree with my voice. Yes, this is restoration, when your inner reality begins to mirror my eternal truth. Now watch, child, as I move not only in you, but around you. I will restore relationships, but not as they were. I will return what was lost, but reshaped by wisdom. I will bring people back into your life, not to revisit old pain, but to redeem what pain tried to destroy. Some I will return, some I will release, and some I will send, fresh alignments for your future. You do not need to chase or strive. What is truly yours will not require compromise. You will not need to shrink to be loved. You will not need to perform to be kept. This is restoration, to know love without fear, to be seen without shame, to stand in wholeness without hiding. Let me speak also to your dreams, the ones you buried because time made them feel impossible, the ones you surrendered because disappointment convinced you they were too dangerous to hope for. I say now, resurrect, rise, breathe again. Those dreams were not your idea alone, they were seeded by me, and I have kept them through every season of drought. Now the rain has come. Now the soil is soft. Now the time is right. You will feel it. A stirring where numbness used to be. A flicker of joy you almost forgot how to carry. A renewed desire to try again, to build again, to believe again. That's me. Restoring. You will begin to create again, not from pressure, but from overflow. You will find words returning where silence reigned. You will sense courage where fear once lived. And what you build this time will carry my breath. What you release this time will carry my oil. For I do not just restore what was lost, I restore with increase. Where there was barrenness, I bring abundance. Where there was loss, I bring legacy. Where there was silence, I bring songs. This is the season where you do not only recover, you rise. I'm restoring not only what you need, but what you didn't dare ask for. Favor, joy, vision, authority. Yes, child, even authority, because the pain you endured has produced a purity in your voice. You speak now from lived encounter, and that carries weight. You don't need a platform to be powerful. You only need to stand in truth. And truth is what I've been restoring in you. So speak, move, love, forgive, risk, create. Do it all with the confidence of one who has seen the face of love and lived to tell the story. Let the world see the light in your eyes and ask, what happened to you? And let your answer be simple. I was restored by love. This is not the end. This is only the middle. But it is a holy middle, where the rebuilding begins. So keep walking, keep yielding, keep trusting. What I am restoring cannot be rushed, but it cannot be stopped. You are in the hands of the restorer. And I will finish what I started. Child, now that the dust has settled and the foundation has been relaid, I bring you into revelation. Not just knowledge, not just insight. Revelation, divine unveiling. Not a glimpse through a fogged window, but the clarity of seeing through my eyes. This is the gift I give you now, the ability to see yourself as I see you, to see the world as I intended it, to see time, pain, purpose, and process not through the lens of fear or delay, but through the lens of eternity. You asked, "What is my purpose?" And I say, it begins here, in knowing who you are. Because purpose flows from identity, and identity flows from intimacy. You've drawn near to me. You've yielded. You've said yes to the process. And now I peel back the veil. Revelation does not come to the hurried. It comes to the hungry. And you, child, are hungry. Now let your eyes adjust. Because what I reveal will reframe everything. You will begin to see the patterns, not just the pain. You will notice how the hardest seasons were actually bridges. How what felt like dead ends were redirections. How what seemed to break you actually broke through you. This is what revelation does. It untangles confusion. It organizes chaos. It names what once felt nameless. I reveal so that you may walk with wisdom. I reveal so that you may speak with clarity. I reveal so that you may move with precision. You are not wandering. You are being led. And now I am leading you into deeper understanding, not to inflate your mind, but to empower your steps. This revelation is not about secrets. It's about sight. And sight begins when you stop assuming your perspective is the whole picture. Let me teach you to see. Let me show you how I see your past, not as a disqualifier, but as training. Let me show you how I see your weakness, not as failure, but as fertile ground for my power. Let me show you how I see others, not as threats, but as stories in progress. Revelation redefines everything. It turns your history into testimony. It turns your questions into conversation. It turns your delays into design. You thought I was far when I was actually forming you. You thought you were forgotten when I was forging your future. Now I speak to your mind. Be renewed. Let go of old frameworks that can no longer carry this new light. Release assumptions that were built in fear. Discard conclusions that came from trauma, not truth. You cannot hold revelation and resentment together. Let one go. Revelation brings healing, but healing requires trust. You must believe that what I show you is not meant to harm, but to heal. Even the painful truths are given in love. I reveal the one roots so you can be free from the fruit that has hindered you. I reveal the cycles so you can choose a different rhythm. I reveal the lies so you can stand in truth that endures. And yes, child, I will also reveal who you are becoming, not who you've pretended to be, not who others expected you to be, but who I've always seen. You are more than you've believed. You are stronger than the voice of shame has allowed you to feel. You are more loved than the deepest part of you dared to hope. Now see it, receive it, walk in it. You will start noticing signs. You'll recognize confirmation in unexpected places, the right word at the right time, the peace in what once provoked anxiety, the doors that open without effort. These are not accidents. They are alignment. Because where there is revelation, there is also movement. I will show you what to release. I will show you where to invest. I will guide you in conversations, decisions, and moments that carry more weight than you realize. You will become sensitive to my signals, not paranoid, but prophetic, not reactive, but responsive. This is how sons and daughters walk, with eyes wide open, with hearts fully engaged, with spirits attuned to the frequency of heaven. And you, child, are not just any follower. You are my beloved, entrusted with sight. So I say to you now, write the vision, make it plain, declare what you see, even if no one understands it yet. You are not crazy. You are called. You are not making it up. You are seeing what I am showing. And as you walk in this clarity, you will begin to speak with authority. Not volume, authority. Not opinion, revelation. Your words will carry weight. Your prayers will shift atmospheres. Your presence will calm storms, because you are no longer led by emotion. You are led by insight, and insight doesn't come from effort. It comes from encounter. You have encountered me, and I am still speaking. So listen, write, declare, move. Build. Not because you have it all figured out, but because you see, and what you see, you will soon walk into. Child, now that you see, now that the veil has lifted and my voice has become your compass, it is time to move. Not as one waiting for permission, but as one sent with purpose. This is your commission. You are not just restored to rest. You are restored to reign, not to rule over others, but to govern what I have entrusted to you with wisdom, with humility, with fire. You've been waiting for a moment, but I have been waiting for your agreement. Because calling is not activated by opportunity alone. It is activated by obedience. This is your moment to walk as one who carries light in a land hungry for clarity. Let me make this clear. You are not too late. You are not underqualified. You are not missing anything you need to begin. You have me, and I am enough. I am sending you not because you are ready in human terms, but because you are surrendered in divine terms. This is what I need: a willing vessel, a yielded heart, a life that says yes in the small as well as the great. You've waited for signs, but now you are the sign. You've asked for confirmation, but now you are the confirmation to others that I still speak, still call, still commission. So rise. Step forward. Let your hesitation fall in the face of heaven's assignment. I am not asking you to know everything. I am asking you to trust that I do. You will go where you once felt unworthy to walk. You will speak where you once trembled to be heard. You will stand where you once knelt in brokenness, and your story will be strength for others. Because this is what the commission does. It transforms the healed into healers, the comforted into comforters, the found into guides for those still searching. I am giving you influence not for popularity, but for purpose. You will not have to chase platforms. You will carry presence, and my presence in you will draw those whose hearts are ready. Be faithful with what I put in your hands. It may not look like much at first, but what is placed in my hands multiplies. Start small. Love deeply. Speak truthfully. Serve joyfully. Obey consistently. This is how kingdoms are built. Not with noise, but with fidelity. Not with perfection, but with persistence. The world does not need more impressiveness. It needs realness. It needs truth carriers, peace bearers, firewalkers. And you, child, are being sent with fire in your bones and peace in your soul. Do not underestimate what I can do through your yes. A whisper of obedience can shift an entire lineage. A simple act of faith can unlock generational doors. This is your commissioning: to walk in love, to serve with joy, to speak with boldness, to release what heaven has deposited into your spirit. Do not hoard revelation. Do not silence your transformation. Let the overflow flow. I have not poured into you so you would remain full. I have poured into you so you would be a river. You carry living water. Let it pour into dry places. Let it seep into broken ground. Let it awaken what others forgot they carried. You are not just a survivor of the storm. You are a signpost of redemption. Where you go, healing will follow. Where you speak, clarity will rise. Where you love, fear will lose its grip. Because I go with you, and I do not send empty. I send empowered. So take the step. Have the conversation. Start the thing I've placed on your heart. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions, they will never come. But my spirit has already gone before you. This is not about quick results. This is about eternal impact, and eternity begins in obedience. There will be days where you wonder if it matters. There will be moments where resistance speaks louder than reward. In those moments, remember this: obedience is never wasted. The seed you sow in faith will never rot in the ground of my will. I will water it. I will protect it. I will harvest it in time. Your job is not to force fruit. Your job is to remain faithful, and know this. The greatest commission is not just what you do. It's who you become as you walk with me. You will change. You will be stretched. You will encounter challenges you didn't plan for. But you will also encounter glory you never imagined. And through it all, I will be there, whispering, strengthening, rejoicing, not just over what you produce, but over who you are. My beloved, my sent one. Now go, with trembling if you must, with questions if they remain, with weakness if that's what you carry. But go, because I am sending you, and my word over you will not return void. This is your commission, not as a burden, but as a holy invitation. And as you walk it out, heaven will walk with you. Child, you've walked through calling. You've survived silence. You've broken, encountered, been restored, and now you've been commissioned. But what I desire most is not your performance. It is your presence. What I gave you in encounter, I now invite you to carry in habitation. This is not a visit. This is a home. I am not a God who passes through. I am the God who stays, and I have not asked you to build for me. I have asked you to build with me. This is the season where we do not just meet in the moment, we move in together. You are becoming my dwelling place, not in part, in fullness, not in visitation, in habitation. You are not only called to experience me in sacred spaces, you are called to live with me in every space. In your car, in your kitchen, in the workplace, in your rest, in your rising. My presence is not seasonal. It is not reserved for Sunday mornings or whispered prayers. My presence is perpetual, and I long to saturate every part of your ordinary life with extraordinary glory. I don't want moments, I want rhythm. I want your soul to move in sync with my spirit. Let this be your new default, not striving, not performing, dwelling, resting in the awareness that I am here. I'm not just your help. I'm your home. Do you feel the difference? You no longer need to beg for me to come. You simply need to become aware that I'm already here. When you wake up, I am here. When you exhale in exhaustion, I am here. When you don't know what to pray, I am still here. This is habitation. It is communion that doesn't depend on mood. It is awareness that doesn't require noise. This is what I am forming in you now. A life of union. A temple not built by hands but by surrender. The more you lean into me, the more natural it will feel to walk in the supernatural. Miracles won't feel out of reach. Peace won't feel like a battle. Joy won't feel like an occasional guest. They will become the atmosphere you live in, because you live in me, and I live in you. Let every breath remind you, you are not empty, you are filled. You are not alone. You are inhabited. The world will try to pull your focus. The noise will try to distract you. The enemy will whisper that I've gone. But stay rooted. Return to your breath. Return to your center. Return to the awareness. I have made my home in you. You don't need grand gestures. You need small, faithful pauses. Moments where you turn your heart toward me. Moments where you invite me into the mundane. Moments where you let my love recalibrate your rhythm. Do not underestimate what happens when you live like I am near, because I am. And when you live with me as your dwelling, everything shifts. Decisions become easier. Discernment becomes clearer. Even your reactions change, because love becomes your default, not fear. I am not an interruption to your day. I am the source of it. Let me speak into your schedule. Let me walk with you through your pain. Let me share in your laughter. Let me be your first response, not your last resort. Habitation means you don't have to compartmentalize your life. Your spiritual and practical are not separate. Your rest and your work are not disconnected. Every part of you is spiritual, because I dwell in every part. You no longer need to climb to reach me. You need only turn inward. This is the greatest miracle. The God of all creation chose to make you his home. So guard that home. Tend to the atmosphere. Fill it with gratitude. Saturate it with truth. Cleanse it from lies. You wouldn't leave your house full of garbage and expect peace. Treat your inner life with the same reverence. Let what you consume be nourishing. Let what you speak be life-giving. Let what you meditate on be filled with hope. I live here. Make room, not just for a feeling, but for fellowship. You don't need to perform to keep me. You don't need to impress to invite me. You need only yield. Let your life become a resting place. Let your routines become altars. Let your thoughts become a sanctuary. This is how revival sustains, not through hype, but through habitation. And you, child, are called to be a carrier of that flame. Where you go, I go. Where you speak, I move. Where you dwell, I shine. So carry me in awareness. Abide in me with confidence. Host me with joy. I am not coming and going, I am staying. This is habitation. This is holy. This is home. And I am so glad to dwell here. In you, child. Now that I have made my home in you. Now that you have learned to dwell and not just visit, to rest and not just rush, it is time to live from overflow. Not just touched by my spirit, but saturated. Not just filled, but spilling. Not just carrying the flame, but becoming the fire. You were not designed to contain me. You were designed to release me. This is overflow, the natural result of consistent communion, the consequence of habitation, the fruit of abiding. When you dwell, I pour. When you remain, I flow. When you yield, I multiply. You will not have to force fruit from your life. It will emerge from your root system, because you are now rooted in me. From the overflow comes healing. From the overflow comes wisdom. From the overflow comes peace that settles rooms and joy that confuses sorrow. This is what it looks like when a life walks in rhythm with heaven. Your words begin to water dry places. Your presence begins to break yokes you don't even see. Your very being begins to prophesy, without striving, without posturing, without performance. People will encounter me through you, not because you quote scripture, but because you embody it. Love will be your language. Peace will be your posture. Grace will be your fragrance. You have been transformed, and now transformation will leak out of you. You've cried for revival. You've longed for miracles. You've asked me to move, but hear me. The revival is inside you. The miracle is your life made new. The movement begins with you walking fully alive. This is not about big stages or crowds. This is about the ripple effect of a life yielded. The neighbor who feels seen, the child who feels safe, the stranger who senses peace because you walked in the room. This is the kingdom. This is the overflow. You don't need to strive to change the world. You need to stay connected to the one who already has. Let me pour through you. Let me love through you. Let me speak through you. Let me give through you. Your job is not to produce. Your job is to remain. And in your remaining, I will release. Release dreams through your hands. Release revelation through your voice. Release comfort through your touch. You will no longer burn out, because you are not drawing from your own well. You are drinking from the endless source. And what you receive without limit, you can give without fear. So pour, child. Pour without fear of lack. Pour without fear of rejection. Pour without apology. The world has enough control. It needs compassion. The world has enough reaction. It needs revelation. You are my vessel, and I trust you with overflow. I trust you with people others discarded. I trust you with moments others missed. I trust you with my spirit because you have made room. Now move. Move in freedom. Move in joy. Move in grace. The overflow will guide you. You will not have to overthink. You will simply sense. You will wake with ideas you didn't generate. You will speak words you didn't plan. You will give from resources that seem to multiply. Because that is what overflow does. It feeds more than you expect. You're not just blessed. You're blessing, and the more you pour, the more I will fill. The more you give, the more you will receive. The more you release, the more you will discover was inside you all along. Overflow will become your lifestyle, not just in moments of clarity, but in days of routine. You will cook with overflow. You will work with overflow. You will parent, lead, rest, and build with overflow. The enemy will try to distract you into depletion. He will try to convince you that your supply is limited, but you will laugh, because you know your source. You do not run on emotions. You run on presence, and my presence is not a faucet. It is a river. So keep the banks clear. Stay yielded. Stay honest. Stay aware. There is no striving in the river. There is only surrender, and from that surrender comes the flood of wisdom, of creativity, of compassion, of purpose, you are not just carrying overflow, you are becoming it, and the world won't even have words for what they see in you. They'll say, "There's something different," and you'll smile, because you know it's not something, it's someone, me, alive in you. Overflowing child. The overflow is not the end. It is the evidence, the confirmation that what I started in you was not a momentary shift, but a permanent transformation. And now I call you not just to experience, not just to express, but to embody. You are my witness, not a spectator, a sign, a living epistle, a vessel through whom my reality becomes undeniable to others. You were never meant to keep this hidden. You were made to reveal. You've asked, "What is my ministry?" And I say, your life. Your choices. Your language. Your posture. Your peace. Your presence. Your life is the sermon. Your love is the sanctuary. Your authenticity is the altar. Wherever you walk, light will follow. Wherever you speak, truth will be carried. Wherever you serve, freedom will echo. Not because you try harder, but because I live in you fully. Being my witness is not about arguing with darkness. It's about radiating light. You are not responsible for the outcome. You are responsible for the overflow. And in your daily walk, I will open moments that become windows, opportunities for others to glimpse heaven. You don't need to force these moments. You only need to be present in them. A conversation that feels casual may unlock a heart. A gesture of kindness may dismantle years of fear. A listening ear may be the doorway to breakthrough. This is your witness. Not staged but sincere, not loud but lasting, not curated but consecrated. You carry evidence that I transform. You carry stories that shine like stars. You carry truth that cuts through confusion, not by shouting, but by living. Let your life answer questions that others haven't found words for. Let your peace be a protest against panic. Let your forgiveness be a testimony that mercy is still real. You are my witness, not just to the world, but to generations, to families, to regions, to atmospheres. The enemy wanted your story buried in shame, but I have resurrected it in glory. You will no longer walk with your head low, you will stand, not in arrogance but in authority, because everything you've walked through has become a testimony. Everything that broke you is now a weapon of healing. Everything you released is now seed-bearing fruit. When people look at you, they will not just see someone who survived, they will see someone who was sent. You will walk through old doors with new vision. You will speak into dry places with new oil. You will touch broken lives with a love that cannot be imitated. This is witness. When heaven speaks through humanity, you are not just a believer, you are proof. And where you go, hearts will soften, Eyes will open, chains will fall, not because of you, but because of who flows through you. You are not preaching a message. You are becoming it. Even your silence will carry weight. Even your rest will carry revelation. Even your ordinary will become sacred. Because when my spirit inhabits a yielded vessel, that vessel becomes a voice. So live, child. Live boldly. Live clearly. Live generously. Don't shrink back. Don't apologize for the light. Don't second-guess what I've spoken. You are not perfect, but you are purified, and I trust you with visibility because I trust the roots we've grown in private. Your witness will not just be seen, it will be felt. You will leave residue of hope everywhere you walk. You will carry an aroma of mercy that makes others ask, "What is this peace?" And in that moment, you will know. This is the fulfillment of everything I've spoken. This is the fruit of everything you've walked through. You are not forgotten. You are commissioned. You are not random. You are revealed. You are not just changed. You are chosen to change atmospheres. This is your witness. You are living proof. Let the world see. Let heaven speak. Let love be known. The journey is not over, but the impact has begun, and it will not stop. Because what I have authored in you is eternal. Now go, shine, testify, and never forget. I am still with you. I am still speaking through you, and the world will know me, because they have witnessed you. Child, you have walked the road of fire and grace. You have heard my voice in silence, felt my breath in breaking, and carried my presence into places once void of light. And now, as this chapter draws to its final lines, I call you not away, but deeper still. This is not an end. This is the return, not a return to what was, a return to who you were always meant to be. This is the return to Eden, not geography but identity, to the garden within, where we walk together in the cool of the day, where fear is a stranger, where shame is a shadow, where love is not earned but inhaled. Child, you are not the same. You have been forged by fire and kissed by the wind of my spirit. You have carried truth when it was costly, and love when it was heavy. And now, you are ready to live as one who knows. I never left. I've always been here. Not watching from a distance, but dwelling in your depths, writing a story that stretches beyond this moment, beyond time, beyond words. You are my poem, my painting, my dwelling, my delight. You are not returning to obligation. You are returning to overflow. Not because you are weary, but because you are full. Let this be your posture, not striving, but abiding. Let your rest become warfare. Let your stillness carry power. Let your song become strategy. I am drawing you into deeper waters, but this time without fear. This time without delay. This time with boldness, because you know the river flows within. You do not need a platform. You carry presence. You do not need applause. You carry approval. You do not need clarity to begin. You carry conviction, and I will meet you again, in every new beginning, in every unfamiliar space, in every whispered yes that breaks another chain. Let this closing be your commissioning, to live like you're loved, to lead like you're led, to release what you've received. Return to joy. Return to simplicity. Return to first love. This is not regression. This is revival. I am not sending you to strive. I am sending you to shine. So go, as one who knows the way, as one who carries the wind, as one who has become the dwelling place. And when you feel empty again, return. And when you feel uncertain, return. And when the world grows loud, return, because I will be here always. This is the way of the Spirit. Revelation, restoration, release, and always return. Not to repeat, but to renew. Not to reset, but to rise. This is the end of a scroll, but the beginning of a movement. And you, child, are not just a reader of the word. You are the continuation of it. Now go, with light in your eyes and fire in your bones, with mercy in your hands and eternity in your steps. Because I go with you and I always will. Return often. I'll be waiting in the garden.